Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Digital Trip. I'm Juan Solo.
I'm Marc Ashford.
Alright, now today we're going to talk about something very special. Today we're going to...
I'm Drew.
Who the fuck are you?
Been here this whole time, man.
Oh.
I just lie down there and sleep while you guys record this.
I keep telling you to clean out your backseat, fool.
Well, I guess this is our first hitchhiker of the week.
Okay, everyone meet Drew.
Hi.
Okay, well, I guess he's going to be a part of this one, so I guess let's just get on with it. Today, we're talking anime. Now, the topic is going to be, if you have a friend who has never seen anime, maybe they've heard of it, but they've never seen it, and you want to introduce
You've seen
them.
anime, right?
Yeah, I'm real weeb.
Alright, so, but now the topic is, what would be a good anime to show someone who has never seen an anime in hopes that you can get them to keep watching anime? It's not what's an anime to show? No. You want to get them
Obviously,
to watch
Attack on
anime.
Titan. You introduce them hardcore. No, you don't do that.
I'm like, you're seriously going to start with Attack on Titan?
That's probably a little too hardcore for most people. If you're squeamish and afraid of blood.
Yeah.
You don't take somebody to a theme park and put them in the big ass roller coaster on their first time.
No, you got to start them off small, and then you work up to the big boys. Alright, so that'll be the talk. Well, Marco, do you got an anime that you think?
I do. I personally think Dragon Ball Z would be the pinnacle of it.
Now, when you say Dragon Ball Z, do you mean like Dragon Ball, like, with Kid Goku, or just Dragon Ball Z?
I would say Dragon Ball Z just because it's a lot more current.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're re-releasing with Kai and all that stuff, so it's a lot easier to go into than it is with Dragon Ball. Because you'd have to dig around for a little bit so you can start finding those episodes again.
Yeah, I agree in that Dragon Ball Z, well, Dragon Ball as a whole, not just Z specifically, but I agree that at least Dragon Ball or Z, just simply because it's a classic. Like, if you're going to get into anime, there is no way in hell you can avoid this one.
Right.
It's going to pop up at some point because it's just such a big franchise.
They also just keep re-releasing it or making movies about it, keeping it current.
Yeah, like
it started like in the 90s.
Yeah.
The animation, and it's now like 2015, and it's still really current because like
the series ended already.
Yeah.
And yet they're still releasing movies.
The manga is like where it ended. The manga's been over since like the early 2000s as well. So
yeah, we started with Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z and then Dragon Ball GT, and that's where it ended.
Yeah.
Now we just got movies.
I ignored GT, so...
But I mean, you can't ignore GT if you're going to consider Super Saiyan 4.
But that's the thing. It didn't get good until it started doing like things from Dragon Ball Z, like the whole Super Saiyan 4 thing.
Yeah, they went on a scavenger hunt looking for these Black Star Dragon Balls and stuff. And then we had lame Trunks, not even cool future Trunks with the badass sword.
Yeah, it did. GT didn't start getting good until it started becoming more like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Plus, with the bad guy named Baby, how do you take that seriously? And they were called like what, Truffles or Turbos or something. I was like, what is this thing? And it starts.
Was it Turbos? Because
it was like Truffles. It was something stupid. Like the Saiyans were like, all right, we're gonna make this our planet, and they just had like laser beams, and the Saiyans were like the cavemen, so they just like clonked them with their Saiyan clubs, and then they just took over the planet. Then they just got all salty. And then they just made Baby. And then that became a thing like 40 years later.
Yeah, because Baby was an experiment, right?
Yeah.
That they're like, you will be your Messiah.
He was like a little test tube baby. He's like, we're going to get all the hate, and we're going to make it into like one little being that's going to kill the Saiyans.
But I mean, it took over, who did it take? It took over Trunks first, then it took over Vegeta.
It took over like pretty much the whole world.
Yeah.
And then after that, it became its own thing. And then they had to become Super Saiyan 4 to kick its ass. So then is Super Saiyan God better than Super Saiyan 4?
Ooh, Super Saiyan God's like ultimate. I mean,
it's like getting the power of like 5 other Saiyans and infusing it into one.
Yeah, but none of those were Super Saiyan 4.
It's better though.
Yeah, I mean, you saw how he fought Beerus or Bills, whatever his name.
But he got his ass kicked.
Hey, thanks for spoiling it for people who might not have seen it.
If you haven't seen it, look it up.
There's like a 2-month grace period when a movie comes out. If you haven't seen it in like 2 months,
Yeah, it's been like,
yeah,
what, a
like,
year?
okay, it's been like a fucking year already.
Plus, if you're really an avid fan of Dragon Ball Z, you bought Xenoverse, and it's part of the story.
Yeah, but we're doing an episode on people who haven't seen anime and you're giving spoilers.
Our fan base watch anime. We're doing this because we didn't have a better topic.
Yeah, but there's a potential that people could be... You know what? We're getting off topic. Dragon Ball Z, I think it would make a good choice for people who haven't seen anime just simply because of the classic. And yeah, it's a good story.
But if you do watch it, try to look for like a guide, kind of, because sometimes there's like really fillery episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And
pretty much everything that starts at yelling, skip.
Yeah. Like I know there's a part like in the Frieza saga where Vegeta has like this bully he had to fight, and I'm like, why do we have to see this? I just want to see Vegeta and Frieza fight. And he's fighting this guy who looks like a turtle or something.
Guido.
Yeah,
Guy Guido.
We mean Guido as in like an alien thing, not like a Jersey Shore guy. It wasn't like.
I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Tan Laundry.
I don't know. The names in DBZ get too complicated. Like I remember,
You know, there's an enemy named Raspberry, right?
Yeah, they all have like a thing on like how they're named. Like Saiyans are named after vegetables.
Oh yeah, like raspberry, carrot, carrot.
Like yeah, because it's Kakarot, which is Goku. It's carrot. Vegeta is just flat out vegetable. Raditz is reddish.
What about Bardock?
Bardock, it's like a broccoli, I think. No, that's Broly. Bardock is something else. I don't know. But
Bardock was just too badass. He didn't get it named after.
Like no, he
Bardock.
did. Like you just gotta look it up. Though. I don't remember his, but yeah. But
wow.
They're all named after like a pun.
That's another reason you can learn about vegetables too, watching the show.
Like yeah, right there.
Very
And
important.
everybody knows that carrot is the most strongest of all vegetables.
True that.
I guess so.
It turns you orange.
Turns you orange if you eat a lot of them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Moving on.
I guess.
It's been like 10 minutes at this.
All right. Drew, do you have an anime that you?
Yes, and I'd like to talk about Hunter x Hunter, but the 2011 version. And I emphasize 2011 version because there was a series that ran from 1999 to 2001 of Hunter x Hunter, but that was just like half of the story. Because Hunter x Hunter has a very complicated history. Because like the manga is still ongoing right now, so the complete story is not even finished. And by the time they ended the 2001 version, it was like really early on in the show. And the 2011 one pretty much gets you up to date with what's going on in the manga.
And yeah, I saw the first episode of the original Hunter x Hunter, and I'm like, this is it? Like, this is the anime that everyone was like hyping up like so good. Then I go to Crunchyroll and I find out that, oh no, there's a different one. And I watch that one and I'm like, holy shit, this one kicks ass.
Yeah, it's very complicated in that sense, but if you watch Hunter x Hunter, make sure it's a 2011 one. And this is one I just watched this past year, and it finished in 2014. So it went from 2011 to 2014. So it's about 3 years worth of episodes, but in total it's about 140-ish episodes. And I'd say it's a good entry-level anime because like it just keeps the story going. Like it doesn't have any filler or like slow points. Like I probably watched 100 episodes of it like in 3 days or so. But don't worry, it was like during a vacation, so I wasn't just there like, you know, in my computer all day.
Right now everyone's just like, this dude has no life.
Probably so. It's probably true to some extent.
He lives in my car.
I just vacation here.
He sleeps in the back seat and listens to us record podcasts.
It's been very intriguing. But back to Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, the main character is Gon Freaks, Killua, Zoldyck, Kurapika, and Leorio, and they're just a good cast. Like, you can feel their sense of like friendship and caring for each other as well. And there are a lot of arcs that deal with like friendship because it's a shonen battle anime, and what shonens are is like, all right, there's like a bad guy that's like, you know, trying to destroy the earth or kill one of our friends, and we're gonna have to beat him. So that's like the main, you know, that's like the main what do you call it, meat of the story: friendship and like togetherness, and you know, coming together to defeat like one enemy.
Yeah, like I didn't finish Hunter x Hunter, but I did see like the first couple of episodes, and yeah, like I dug it. I really got into it, and like you said, I never saw like a slow point in those first couple of episodes, you know. Whereas in the first one of the original one, because that's another thing, I think the new one follows the manga like a lot better.
Kind of like
than
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that with Hunter x Hunter, the new one. And I would assume so, just simply because in the original anime, like in the first episode, that is not the same as in the new one, in the 2011 one. Like, they were two different things, two different stories going on. Like, if anything, like if you change the characters, you would argue that like it's a different series. It's not Hunter x Hunter. But I don't know if that's true. I didn't look into it or not.
I've seen some of the earlier one, the one from '99, and the 2011 one is just like way better. Just because the animation is improved, voice actors are better, and just it's more faster paced. Like when I was watching it, there was never a point where like, man, I got to take a break. I was just like clicking. I was like, I gotta get to the next episode. So it's good like that.
Yeah, it definitely is, and yeah, and I agree. Hunter x Hunter would be a good one for someone to start out with, just simply because, you know, it's got great pacing, it's got good action, and the story is also pretty good too. So I can see why someone would show this to someone as like, look, this is like, you want to get into anime, watch this. It's a basic shonen style, and it's done really good. And yeah, I definitely agree with that one being a good introductory anime.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so before I get to my anime, I have a story to tell.
Story time with Juan.
Yes, story time. I told my brother what like the topic for this episode was gonna be, and now you know about this. I told you when we came with the topic that I was torn between two animes.
Right.
And I was telling my brother, like, oh, this is the topic for, like, the next podcast. And he immediately just went, oh, it's got to be Cowboy Bebop. Now, that was actually one of the two that I was debating between. He's like, no, it has to be Cowboy Bebop. And I'm like, I thought about it, because then he's like, no. And then he went off, and sure enough, he convinced me that Cowboy Bebop, that, because he's like, it's done in a way that like it has like multiple genres in the episode. For people who don't know, Cowboy Bebop, it's about these space cowboys which are bounty hunters, which, you know, they tell them, okay, there's this wanted guy, go after him, bring him, and you'll get paid, and they're called cowboys. And so Spike Spiegel, he's got his crew, and they go hunting bounties, and that's the overall story of it. But it's got, you know, it's got great action, good voice acting. And not only that, but like the story, it covers so many different genres. You know, it's got its comedy episodes, it's got its drama episodes, it's even got its romance episodes. So there really is like a feel for it. And he's like, and if you know what, like, the person who's never seen anime, like this fictional person we're talking about, like, if you know what they like, you can show them a specific episode of Cowboy Bebop. Like, if you know they like the movie Alien, there are episodes of Cowboy Bebop that are based and inspired on the movie Alien.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, there's like this blob thing that goes around biting everybody. It's the movie Alien. He's like, you can go around, you can show them that episode if you know they like Alien, and like right there it'll be like, look, this is to get your feet wet. Whereas the anime I had picked, the other one I was torn between, was Trigun, because for the same reasons. Trigun covers a lot of like material in one series. That one's about, you know, it's a western. Like, Trigun's a western, which western automatically American. But yeah, it's like western. It's got western and steampunk themes, and what that one's about is this guy named Vash the Stampede. He's wanted for $60 billion double dollars. That's the currency they use, double dollars. But just imagine that.
Not just dollars.
Double
dollars.
So, but
it's probably like 120 billion.
Exactly. Now,
Boom,
that's they must really hate this guy, and you're like, what did he do? And and every episode they always say like a different story of who he is, how he is, and then
how he looks.
And yeah, and right off the bat you meet like the supposed Vash the Stampede, and you're like, this is it? this is the guy that everyone hates. That like,
well, technically, at first, what's called it's a big ass guy with a big ass boomerang.
Like, yeah,
and he calls himself that.
But then you see that he captured someone else who's Vash the Stampede, and you're like, wait, what? Like, and you're like, this guy's a big, brute with the boomerang and his gang of people. Whereas the guy, he's like, no, this is Vash the Stampede. It's this blonde-haired, spiky guy, like, who loves donuts. And you're like, what did this guy do that like everyone hates? Like, or is he even Vash the Stampede? Because like that's how you don't even know. Like,
will the real Vash the Stampede please stand up?
Like, yeah, just flat out, please stand up for all these people that are watching. But yeah, but like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, it also has, it's got comedy, it's got drama, it's even got a good story. The only reason my brother argued that Trigun wouldn't be good is because anime has like this, there's a weirdness to it that unless you watch anime, you're into it, you're used to that weirdness. But someone who's new to it, they'll be like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
And he feels that he's like, Trigun has a little too much of it for like a beginner when you compare it to Cowboy Bebop. It's like Cowboy Bebop just gets their feet wet. It puts them, in the shallow end of the pool. Trigun, you're kind of pushing them towards the 6 feet deep when they're still trying to learn how to swim. I don't know. I personally don't think so. I still think Trigun would be a good one. But you know what? Like, all the stuff he was telling me, because we argued about this till like 1 in the morning.
Oh, damn. And they started at noon.
Yeah, we argued this like back and forth. But he did convince me that Cowboy Bebop probably would be a good start, is getting the feet wet.
But ultimately, he went with Attack on Titan.
And then immediately afterwards, show him Trigun. That would probably be my answer.
Because the Cowboy Bebop gets your feet wet, and Trigun pushes you to the 6 foot. Attack on Titan drowns you in the deep end.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you recommend for animes, whether it be for a newcomer or just someone who likes anime in general. Just by all means, let us know in the comments, and that'll do it for this week. Thank you guys so much. Tune in next time for next week's episode of Digital Trip.
RedTube if you want.